What's up, you guys? It is Will here from SHADOW ASCENT, signing back in, and today I wanted to talk about and reference something that is soon to be 6 years since it happened, and perhaps at least among the most influential psychedelic experiences I've ever had. It was an acid trip at the beach that I did with Alex that woke me up, essentially. It had highlighted a lot of insecurities that I wasn't ready to face as a 20-year-old kid. It was during COVID. I was fresh out of high school. Well, not fresh, I was a couple years removed from high school. I thought I knew everything at that time. I clearly had been through psychedelic experiences that had started to shape my worldview, my understanding of self, but I was still so new to it. I hadn't really undergone a full awakening or I kind of adopted a nuanced perspective. Regardless, a large part of the insecurity stemmed towards my sex life at that time, and that was a huge facet of this channel. At least my side, my contribution to this channel was uncovering who I am and why I had gone to something like porn and how much that impacted me sexually. Now, I want to make it clear before I start this, I am engaged and I have someone that is fully understanding and respectful about a lot of the things that I've been through with porn and with sexuality and all this identity transformation that I've gone through, especially in my early 20s, because that was before I had met her. I was using porn as a coping mechanism for feeling like I wasn't enough, for when I would sit around and I had something planned for a day, I would go for a run, but then I would not do the run, and I would sit in my bed and I would watch porn, and I would feel terrible about myself. And that porn then led to other outlets on porn, gay porn, transgender porn. What am I doing? Why am I doing this? I wasn't really questioning it or analyzing it to the extent that I should have. And therefore, it became a problem, but not one that I understood or was willing to confront until this trip on the beach that I mentioned. Something had gotten brought up in the conversation I was having with Alex, and all of a sudden, which at first the experience was actually going very well. I remember feeling positive, enjoying a nice day at the beach, and then I wasn't ready to face the idea that I was struggling and having a huge battle with my own identity and my sex life, and I didn't even know who I was. I wasn't ready for a relationship. I was having a lot of just personal issues going on that I didn't know how to face or how to respect the fact that they were there or acknowledge the fact that they were there. I think this trip, as challenging as it was, lit that pathway for me. And if you want to see it, I have a video on this channel documenting that experience. But even though it's 6 years ago and a lot of the epiphanies and revelations I came to may not be at the forefront of my mind today, they're still very valuable and kind of setting, like I said, lighting that pathway. And the thing is, it's not as much about my sexuality. Like, it was something that I at the time thought, oh, I'm something I don't even understand. Over time, I realized, like, this is just a habit that I've gone to that has gotten out of hand with porn and has pretty much shaped my desire, my sexual desire. And because of that, my desire is almost entirely correlated with porn. At least it was at the time. Now, porn is something I still deal with. Like, it's still there. It's not as much of an issue as it was when I first started watching it. It certainly still impacts me, and I have to kind of try and stay away from it. But by doing that, I have to find other coping mechanisms or things I can go to. If I feel a certain emotion that I am a little bit apprehensive towards, I gotta find some other activity that I can go to, right? And for a lot of people, that can be porn, it can be cigarettes, it can be junk food. Like, we all have our vices and things that we cling on to for security and that immediate satisfaction. I may not have fully elaborated on the roots of everything in this video, and how all this started and all that. I don't think I really need to, but at the very least, this experience that I had was something that was paramount and something that needed to happen eventually. And it kind of reminds me of the importance of acknowledgement. It's okay to have issues. Like, it's okay to have interpersonal dialogue and things going on within that you don't understand. It's okay to struggle with something. Like, we all have things that we're dealing with. I feel like it becomes a problem when you run from it. You got to be able to open up, to let it out, or else it's going to pile up. Recently, I made that video about why do men and women hate each other nowadays, and I feel like it was blown out of proportion a little bit. There was a lot of comments on it, and many that were controversial, and I could see how that video would be polarizing, but essentially what I was trying to say was like, we have sides of ourselves that aren't really integrated into the real world, or properly integrated at least. A lot of times that can be a wounded masculine or feminine side. But the nature of it is that side, both those sides exist within everybody. And we've kind of been programmed to not see things that way. And we have to be a certain way within society, correlated with our gender, stereotypes, our race, ethnicity, right? Like, we gotta be a certain way, we gotta be cordial, we gotta be orderly. You realize that that's not really how anybody is. Like, we are unique individually as people. Everyone is. There's certain personality quirks and things like that that make me me. And that goes for everybody. You know, I'm not everyone's cup of tea, but I may be someone's shot of whiskey. I've heard that saying before. And that goes for everybody. But I think self-discovery is perhaps the most important journey to go on, and definitely inwardly in this life. And I don't have my career figured out right now. I don't have my entire future planned. My life isn't perfect, but I like my life. I'm grateful for it. And I don't know if I would have that perspective if I didn't go on this journey of deep introspection through psychedelics, through writing, and through acknowledging who I am and what I feel and things that I am uncertain about in my life, things that are misaligned, things that I want to fix, things that I have to accept, right? Like, I'm grateful that I went on that odyssey at a young age during my late teens, early 20s, and I'm still going on it. I don't think that journey ever ends. It only culminates in death, I suppose, at least for, you know, the ego and for who you are as an individual. But I'm so far from perfect, right? Like, but that's okay. Like, there's no perfection as a human being, and recognizing that as a human being, I think, is so pivotal. I'm just grateful to be alive and to have undergone these experiences that I've encountered in my life. I wouldn't trade it, you know, to be where I am today. I wouldn't trade it. And I'm also aware that, like, you know, I grew up as a white, privileged kid in society who didn't have to go through a lot of systemic issues, who didn't have to grow up in some third world country. I'm very fortunate. I don't try to overlook that. Know yourself. And you got to prioritize yourself. You know, a lot of times we can do something for somebody else or for people around us, and that's great. But you got to know thyself, and you got to treat yourself like someone you're responsible for helping and being there for. That can at least lead you down a path of inner peace. You're going to have turmoil and sadness and anger and fear and grief and loss and suffering. But that can't necessarily strip you of your peace. My light just went off. Damn. Hold on. I don't know if this can turn back on or if it's dead. No, we're good. We're good. But that can, you know, if you are, okay, it's gone. It's gone. Forget it. I think that you can find a level of peace despite it all. Despite all the questions, despite all the concerns, despite all the conflict that's going on in the world, and the questions that we don't have answers to. And psychedelics have kind of lit that pathway for me. I obviously did a lot of the work myself, but if anyone out there is struggling with that, like, I think the inward journey is going to really transcend you to a level that something like money can't, a career can't. Now, family's different, of course, but like, you need to have that time and that relationship with yourself somehow, some way. That's part of the shadow ascent. That is the purpose of this channel. In order to ascend, there's a shadow. There's a shadow to the mountain. There's a shadow to you. It's the work that has to go into it. But yeah, keep moving forward, ultimately. Thank you guys, you know, to anyone who might be tuning in. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I feel like I got what I needed to say. So let me know what you guys think. Had any psychedelic experiences or self-transformation journeys? I'd love to hear about it. I'm always interested. So much love, good vibes, peace. Will from Shadow Ascent, signing out.